live on the scene. We are back. NFL season is upon us. Best coverage in the world, Craig. Y'all know what this is. True Man False World reporting live scene representative here with the crew. We got Vic. We got Mo. We got Trav in the building. We will have many guests that probably will pop up on the screen. Trav, as the resident Bucks fan, how you doing, man? What's going on, fam? What's up?
Hey man, football is back. Like
Back,
we in
back.
it. We in it, man. I'm excited. Week one, a bunch of intriguing, interesting matchups going on. Thursday night, amazing, good game, man. We back at it, man. I'm gonna let y'all do y'all thing, man. Y'all know what I'm here for, man. Y'all know what I'm here.
Vic, the scout extraordinaire. What's going on, man? How you feeling, man?
It's feeling great, man. Week one. Again, I've never been this much excited for a season and like this long. This week one docket is crazy, man. I don't even know what game to watch. I am not a red zone fan like some of y'all. So I don't like watching that red zone shit just because they at the red zone. We're gonna put the screen on the team in the red zone. No, I want to watch the whole drive. You know what I'm saying? So now I got to decide what game I want to watch. You know what I'm saying? Do I want to watch Cleveland and KC? Do I want to watch New England and Miami? I mean, this docket is crazy today.
And then, of course, we got Mo Schefter.
Hey, listen, Jerm, you just leave it at that. I have never been in a better mood than I am this morning. Okay, I woke up at like 9:30 and I shot out of bed. I was like, "Yo, it's Sunday. It's week one, Vic. It's 2021 in week one." Okay, that means there's multiple devices. There's multiple streaming platforms, so you could have the red zone on one screen, the game you want on another screen. Whether you want to stream it legally or illegally, the choice is yours. We all have to make our own life choices. But there's no reason why you got to compromise the quality of your football experience in these day and age.
Now I'll pick one screen for one game, the other screen for the other game, the other screen for the other game. I'm good with that. I'm good with that. I want to see
You
the whole
don't want
drive.
you don't want one centralized thing to keep an eye on everything going on.
Nah, we good. That's what we got the film for.
Well, then,
Tuesdays.
I host on Sundays the parties. We're not going to your house.
Man, look, man, we got a crazy week of football, like we said. Let's start at the top, though. I mean, I touched a little bit on some things when I went live on Friday with Big Shot. But fellas, let's briefly touch on the Thursday night game. We had a great game. That was a great
Yes,
game.
we did. Yes, we did.
A lot of things were left on the field for both teams. A lot of opportunities were left on the sides. Again, we seen a clash of a team that is still finding their stride against a team that pretty much has found their stride. And even with this team finding their stride, you still see some of the hiccups that you see that goes along with having great players. It is what it is. So let's start at the top, man. Brady, great performance.
Oh.
Dak, sensational performance coming back, first game back. Fellas, I mean, let's start at the top right there again. As I said, like, what are some of the things that you took away from that game?
So,
and Chef, I'm gonna start with you.
Yeah. So let me say this, right? The Thursday night game, Dak Prescott played great. The players, for the most part, all played with good energy, no matter what the narrative say about Zeke or whoever else. The thing that stood out to me, man, is this dude here. And I'm not trying to sound redundant. I'm sure everybody's been talking about it. I don't know. I haven't been on social media, nothing. This dude here is just remarkable. I don't know what else, like there's nothing left to say. We know that. But the art that he plays with, the intelligence that he plays with, the way he executes the game. And Trav, I know you were at the game, so I'm speaking this because, to be honest with you, views from the 22, we talk about it all the time, but to be honest with you, there is nobody that had a better view of the greatness Thursday night than Trav, because he was at the game. And when you at the game, really when you're watching any game is how it should be. But when you actually go to the game, you're not thinking about fantasy. You're not thinking about stats. You're not thinking about how many passing yards he's about to throw for. You're not worried about the completion percentage. All you worried about is what are these players doing to win the game? From start to finish, every series, it was plays made that ain't going to make the highlights, that aren't going to show up on the stat sheet, that you're not really going to talk about on your favorite hot take show. But it was plays made to win ball games. The throw to Gronk, the touchdown to Gronk, both touchdowns to Gronk, the throw to AB, the touchdown. It wasn't even about the long throw. Forget the long throw. Just everything, every detail that went into that. The final drive, Gio Bernard was on the bench and on the bike all game. And Chris Collinsworth said it. Gio already earned his salary. And that's the truth. He had 2 huge conversions to keep that game-winning drive going. And again, that's the Brady effect, man. That's the Brady effect. It is making plays consistently to win games. And he has done that at the highest level for 20 years now. Trav, your thoughts from sitting there in the game, in the experience, and just watching this man play football. This team execute.
Just the environment, especially just after winning the Super Bowl and everything like that. It was electric. I'm gonna say it again. If number 12 is coming to your city near you, you may want to take a watch it there. Dude, mechanics, the way he avoids sacks without even being too elusive. He did something and he just did a shoulder shimmy and he touched him and just threw the ball. I mean, although it was an incomplete pass, just those little details of what he did. And you mentioned something about that AB catch. I watched it. I was in my seat when that play developed. Like I was telling these guys on the pregame, I was in my seat. And when AB ran towards the sideline and he kind of stuttered and he took back off again, I jumped up out my seat and said, AB, AB. Brady stepped up in the pocket twice and put it on the money. Like, dude is a joy to watch at the age of 44. He's a joy to watch. And he man, again, if he's coming to your city, you may need to you in for a treat.
Your last chance is to check him out.
You in for a treat, man. Overall, the experience was amazing, man. That's the first time I've just really been in Raymond James, and the electricity of that stadium, and how everything went down with the Pirates ships, bombs away, the fireworks, all out there, man. It was just amazing, man. Yeah. I really enjoyed myself. I really did.
I bet you this, Trav. I bet you forgot how much you paid for those tickets when you was at that game.
Of course.
And that's how they get you. I mean, Vic, before you go, Vic, and then we get back to the football, just talk about the NFL experience. I remember my first game, like I walked through there like, man, NFL ain't going nowhere. And it's truly like game day at the stadium. NFL is just a whole different experience. But go ahead, Vic, with what you saw Thursday and Brady and Dak, whatever.
I mean, real quick, I was telling the guys on the chat that I had the opportunity to go see Brady and the Patriots back in 2004 and camp training and preseason camp, training camp and stuff like that. And at the time, I'm 18 years old, just starting to get into that draft part of the NFL and stuff like that, and the scouting. And at the time, you didn't really have no idea what this dude was going to be, you know what I mean? But the presence of him walking around as the quarterback, first of all, you could feel that. And, that opportunity, and then my first game was going to the Cowboys Giants a couple years back, Zeke and Dak's, rookie year, where it was only a 3-0 game where the Giants beat them. That was disappointing, but like you said, you forget like how much you pay for those tickets in the moment, because it's pretty intense. That game on Thursday, man, that was probably one of the best opening games I can remember. I don't know if you guys have, you guys have better memory than me. Shout out to Ham, the historian, because he remembers shit from 1989. You know what I'm saying? So, but that energy, Trav talked about the energy in the stadium. You could feel it through the TV, and especially with the Dak story, him coming back. Like I said before, you could tell that the whole NFL loves the kid. The Cowboys locker room, wants to play their butts off for him, and it looks like they did. Um, you talk about the Brady aura that he gets on his teammates, and what Gio Bernard was able to do on just 2 plays. Seems like Leonard Fournette and Mr. Jones kind of misses some of that aura, because my God, man, like but that's a whole different subject. I think there was some throws that Dak probably would have wanted back in that game. But other than that, he was incredible. The Cowboy fans should be happy with that performance. But of course, you go up against Brady, you gotta be very, very, you gotta be almost squeaky clean with your game plan and with your execution, because they showed at the end of that last drive. We could talk about the pass interference or lack thereof play. We'll get to the film on that soon, but there was a lot. There's a lot to talk about that game, man. There really is.
Hey, before y'all go on, I just want to say I think the NFL knew this, especially you got so-called America's team
Of course,
going up against the
Captain
Super Bowl
America
champions, against the Super Bowl champions.
Yeah,
calculated.
I think they knew what they was doing, and
No doubt.
looking at this first week
I was
how
gonna say
everything
that.
is set up.
Yeah.
I think the NFL knew what they was doing, and that's why I think Mo getting up out the bed, jumping on his chair, he's on it, and Germ on, man. We looking at stuff. We looking at film, not even it wasn't even film. It was just highlights, but we looking at it like it's film. We read it today, man. We read it.
You look at the docket, man. Cleveland and KC. We saw what happened in that game last year. Pittsburgh and Buffalo opening up, and then you got the Alabama versus Alabama matchup over here with Miami and New England. The quarterbacks, the receivers, like, the NFL knows what they're doing, man. Very calculated with their scheduling. Towards the end of the year, that's when it gets tough, because then there's injuries. There's teams that might be missing players, but
I'm gonna give y'all a couple other games that are interesting today.
Yeah, go ahead, Jerm.
Vikings and the Bengals. I think that game should be good. I think it should be great. You get Joe Burrow with both of his weapons that he won national championships with.
Yes. And then you got just the Vikings, Germ, who I don't know if y'all saw this or not. Kirk Cousins is making his cap hit this year is more than 7 combined Buck starters, including Tom Brady and Rob Gronkowski. 7.
Yep.
I'll give you another game. Jets Panthers. I know.
I said this to Trav and him earlier. That's Sam Darnold's return game for the quarterback that they replaced him for. That should be an interesting game in itself.
Yes. I hope it's 44-40 or 3-0. Because that's all. I'm serious. I want nothing in between.
I think Seahawks and the Colts.
Yeah,
I think that should be a chess match. We should get a really, really good last second game out of that one. Carson Wentz versus Russ. Hey man, my boy Calamari versus Ryan Tannehill. Week 1, baby. Let's go.
I give you the game of the week.
What you got?
Jabu versus Bootleg 12. Oh man, if Jameis wins that one. Yeah. Oh man, if Jameis beats the Packers today.
Hey. Woo. So I said on the show when I talked to Big Shot the other day that the Saints are in the running for the second best team in the NFC. On paper, you're talking about Teron Armstead at the left tackle, Andres Pete left guard, Eric McCoy center, Cesar Ruiz is the right guard listed as of today, and Ryan Ramczyk. That may be the best offensive line in the game of football today. They should be able to run the ball whenever they want to. They should be able to get adequate protection as they need to. This is going to be the team that Jameis is going to have the most time he's ever had to throw. This is going to be the team that Jameis has never had a bad offensive coordinator or a bad quarterback coach behind him either. Let's make sure we say that. So now, Jameis, it's on you. We gave you the pass because of the eyes and everything else like that, but now it's time for J-Mo to show up and ball out. I am so excited for him to get an opportunity like this. You don't understand how excited I am because this kid can process the game at the highest level with the best of them. He can throw the ball with the best of them. But the key to this offense is a guy that he's not accustomed to having. And that's a guy by the name of Alvin Kamara, who is not going to stretch you vertically. He's the chain mover. He is the guy on that team. So I'm looking forward to seeing if he can be patient, be methodical. If he's patient and methodical, he'll get his shots down the field. He'll get the things that he needs. And second-year tight end, Adam Troutman, should be a fun guy to watch. We're talking a complete route runner, can run every route, 6'4". He can get better as an inline blocker. This is year 2. Let's see what happens. And also, Vic, remember our guy Marcus Davenport?
Yeah.
From a small school. He is now taking the role of the second-tier pass rusher to Cam Jordan. Cam Jordan.
Yep.
This should be his year for him to flourish as we get ready to start having to pay our rookies and things like that, our first-round picks. I'm ecstatic. I'm excited for this game. And the Packers, it's really simple. Kenny Clark, Za'Darius Smith, Preston Smith. That is the 3 most important players on your front 7. Then after you go there, you got Jair in the secondary. I need for those guys to show up in the running game. I don't care about the sacks. Sacks is one of the most overrated stats in football at this stage because good pressure will always supplement for sacks. Good pressure gets you in situations where you can make people throw the ball earlier and get people off the field or get people where they need to be. It is so much here this week for us to talk about. So we're not going to spend it all talking about that game in particular. But I'm telling y'all, that should be a great game. The trenches, everything should be fun to watch on film when we get to all 22 this week. Next game, y'all pick it. I don't care.
Yeah, I mean, let's just start with Steelers Buffalo. You want to start with that one? Or you want to leave that one to the end?
No, let's do that one now. Let's do that one now.
Let's do it.
So I'll start it. Don't worry. I mean, talk all day.
Where do we start with this game? But go ahead, you got it. You're the quarterback this week, bro. You got it.
So first things first. We got Ben going up against the team, obviously, that was in the AFC title game last year. Ben is coming off year 2 of the surgery. I'm really intrigued to see how everything unfolds with Ben this year. I think Ben should be right where he needs to be. Najee Harris, being this is his first NFL game this season. I am looking forward to seeing how the Steelers running game transitions this season as they bring in this young rookie. Next, we're going to flip to the other side on that defense. Defensively, the Steelers have never been notorious for having a lot of great secondary players that are corners, right? They have a couple here and there, but they always got themselves a safety that does it all. They always got themselves a player somewhere that does a lot of things. This Minkah Fitzpatrick kid, me and Vic tried to tell y'all, he is one of the guys that you want in a secondary in the NFL. He covers a lot of ground. He covers it quickly. But not only that, he is a very intelligent football player. The way he's able to diagnose and bring things together on a defensive end for that secondary, he may be the most important player not named TJ Watt. And it may be 1A and 1B to that defense. For that team, if they get pressure, if he's on the field, they always got a chance to shut you down on Sunday. And that's just what it is. Buffalo, we'll get to them in a second. Let's go around. We got our resident Steeler fans in the building.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
I just want to touch on one thing real quick, Jeremy. We're going to go around the horn. Vic, then we get to Jaquan and the first lady who we're going to get to the attire in the background. We're going to address all that. But just on the Steelers part, Germ, the steel curtain. I mean, you got to give Mike Tomlin credit here. Like, at one point, the steel curtain kind of turned into some plastic. Okay, it turned into the cheap one you buy from Walmart that you open it too hard, it falls. You gotta get a new one. But to his credit, he is refusing to let that happen again. They are always, always strong in that front seven. And you look at their front seven this year, it's no different. Matter of fact, it might be the best they've had in a couple years. And the last couple years, they've been pretty good. But you got TJ Watt in his prime. You got Cam Hayward still doing his thing. Devin Bush is coming back, who is going to be crucial. He is the Shazier replacement. We love you, Shazier. He is the Shazier replacement, and he's going to be able to do all the things that Mike wanted from that position. But to add to it, you bring in Joe Schobert. And Jeremy, you know Joe Schobert all too well. He might have been Cleveland's best linebacker. Then he went to Jacksonville. That didn't work out. Lucky for him, because now he's in Pittsburgh, and I think he's going to thrive. He might have that green dot on him for a little while, and I think he is going to thrive. The secondary is playing in front of, behind, however you want to look at it, a massive front seven, a very versatile front seven, a fast front seven. Like, there isn't, we got to go through it. And obviously, when we touch on Buffalo, we're going to talk about some very similar things defensively. But this front seven has got a very rare mix of size, speed, athleticism, you name it. They got it all. So it's going to be very interesting to see what their game plan is going to be against Josh Allen. Because if I'm Mike Tomlin, we blitz all night. That zone blitz 3 deep, zone blitz 2 deep, whichever one, but that zone blitz scheme that they love doing, where they twist the linebackers, they drop back defensive linemen, they're going to bring corners, especially on third down from the slot. There's a lot they do here in this defense for Pittsburgh. And I'm really just curious how quickly they hit their stride, because the more this defense plays to its potential, the more likely Pittsburgh is going to be a problem for anybody.
Yeah, I mean, just to piggyback a little bit of what y'all spoke about, both of these defenses were middle of the pack in run defense last year. You know, so I'm looking forward to seeing what's going to happen in terms of the run game for both offenses. Of course, we know the Najee Harris pick for the Steelers. I mean, that should guarantee that there's going to be about 25 touches to him alone specifically. I think they're going to try to limit as much as they can how much Ben steps back and throws, the whole season. And then for the Bills, are we still going to have Josh Allen running some, doing some run plays? I mean, because again, I'm just not a big believer in having your quarterback, out in space and trying to get some extra rush yards. Like you said, this defense is not only fast, but they're big and they're strong. So this is a tough matchup for the Bills rush defense, especially if your quarterback is going to be heading that. So I'm interested to see, if they could establish Zach Moss and Devin Singletary and try to keep, Josh Allen to 5 rushes for the game, hopefully just in the red zone.
Yeah.
That's what I'm interested to see, man, because that kid is special to me. I think, you guys know, I thought he was my MVP last year, and I'm trying to keep him healthy.
Yeah. Well, Zach Moss is inactive today, Vic. And just to your point, one thing I'm going to add, the Steelers' defense was middle of the pack last year. Remember this, against the run defense, that is. That's a 3-4 scheme that they still deploy. And in the 34, your inside linebackers are crucial in your run support. And they didn't have any last year. No offense to Vance Williams. He's a great player, but he's a great player in a limited role. He's a good player. He's a good player in a limited role. Now you got 2 linebackers who, when those big dogs up front take up the space, they got cleanup duty. And again, Jerm can talk about it. Joe Schobert, he's a hell of a linebacker, man. He's smart. He's a smart linebacker. And then when you're a smart linebacker, you can play a long time in this league.
Absolutely. So let's transition to the resident Steelers fans. I'm gonna start with Jaquan. How you feeling? What's going on?
What's up, fam? I see y'all in a minute. It still feel like
it has been a while.
Yeah,
it has been a while. It has been a while.
So, Jaquan, how are you feeling about Pittsburgh as we get ready for the game today? What do you feel are the keys for the Steelers' victory today?
Actually, I'm excited. I think we're going to win. I love that everyone is betting against us. They think the Bills are going to just blow us out. They think that we won't have a chance in hell, to win this game at all. But the keys is, you got to contain Josh Allen for sure. Make sure he doesn't get out of that pocket and find none of them wide receivers in the open zones like Cole Beasley or Diggs or Gabriel Davis.
Emmanuel
And now
Sanders.
they got Emmanuel Sanders. So, you got to be careful with that. You also have to make sure you contain Diggs, at least contain him as much as you can, because if he gets loose and Josh Allen finds him deep, that's a touchdown because he's fast. You got to be able to, for their defense, we got to be able to run the ball and make their front seven is tired, because their secondary, they got Trey White and good safety tandem, but besides that, it's not really, nothing to. So I think we can pass the ball on them, but we got to run the ball to keep the game, intact. I lost my train of thoughts, but I think we're gonna win though.
I mean,
So
but
now,
you right though. Go ahead, Jim.
we're gonna transition over to the first lady. I'm gonna need her to turn her microphone on. She's a professional. So what are the keys today for the Steelers' victory?
For me, simply Najee Harris. That's the reason we lost last time. We didn't have a run game.
Yeah.
So that's it for me. Everything else go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I just want to add in that the last 2 times they played us, we was unhealthy.
Sounds like excuses. It's week 1. You got all week to come up. You got 17 more weeks to come up with excuses, Daquan.
No excuses. This is all facts. I never make excuses. I make facts. This is all facts.
Let me tell you something, man. You play with what you got. That's all it is. That's all it is. Because injuries will, unfortunately, you could ask Vic, when his athletic training background, unfortunately, just the way the human body is built, we are fragile creatures. Unfortunately, injuries will forever be part of the game. Tanya, let me ask you this, Tanya. You're talking about the run game. Okay, yeah, Najee. How you feel about that offensive line, though?
I don't know yet.
Because there's so many moving parts, right, Germ? Like, it's a whole different unit.
It's new, yeah.
See, here's the most interesting part of this, right? Now, as we transition to the Buffalo side.
Yes.
Jaquan, you're not wrong when you say the corners are suspect, right? You're not wrong for saying that. But they got something in this kid, Teron Johnson. I don't know what it is, but he seems to make big plays from that nickel DB spot. He housed Ben and he housed Lamar last year. And when I say the way he did it from playing his role perfectly. I'm talking bait and switch, perfect. I don't know what it is about that kid, but he's very intriguing. And that's a player that I'm keeping my eye on this year to see if he continues to flourish in that nickel DB role. Now, the most interesting part of this, Mo, me and you talked about this before. Me and you talked about this directly, me, you, and Vic. Buffalo has the most interesting front seven, maybe in the National Football League.
Dude.
Because they got speed and they got a lot of guys that shoot gaps uniquely fast.
Yeah.
Ed Oliver is the catalyst for that first and foremost at the 3 tech.
Yeah.
That is going to be a very intriguing matchup with some of those guards for Pittsburgh. If Ed Oliver is able to get and sneak into that backfield a little bit today, that's going to be very intriguing. Say what you want, but Jerry Hughes is a wily veteran who always just makes the right play. Yeah. They got some really good players. Jordan Poyer and Micah Hyde. Bro, what do they just consummate professionals, bro. They just show up.
Yeah, I mean, like, I'm gonna be honest with you. This Bills defense, to me, where are really the weaknesses? If you're gonna nitpick, you're going to go to the inside linebackers that, they need a little more, sort of like the Cowboys linebackers, right, Vic? They need a little more polishing. And I know you're going to touch on that a little bit. But as far as their front seven, Vic, Germ, again, same thing. You got size, you got speed, you got athleticism, and you got people who could do it all. People who could do it all is guys like Ed Oliver, another one of Vic's guys. You got Jerry Hughes for the speed, Mario Addison for the speed, Starla Tatui, who's out, I think, this weekend, but Harrison Phillips is still there. Vernon Butler is there. You got the young kid Espinoza from Iowa. He's still growing into his own. And I mean, the secondary, like they got lids, and they got what do you call them? Cyborgs with Jordan Poyer and Micah Hyde, because you could just move them. Oh, hey, I need you here this down. Hey, I need you here this down. Hey, I need you here this week. Hey, this week this down, I need you here. This week this down, I need you here. And that's something that's just makes that is what you need from today's safety. He's got to look like a undersized linebacker that plays like a corner. That is the NFL's safety this year. This presence.
Real quick, while I transition over to Vic real quick, me and Vic talked about this too. We talked about this Harrison Phillips kid. Harrison Phillips is tremendous.
Yes, he is.
To go along next to Ed Oliver. This is
I like his hands, man.
His hands have always been great. But then you add, the thing is, shouts out to my guy Trav over here, born and raised in the county of Dade. When they got Greg Russo from Miami, that's another fast, quick twitch guy that does similar things to Ed Oliver. So I actually look for them to deploy those two players together on third down some and try to get the defensive linemen going this way to get them while they shoot gaps, and then have somebody come and stunt and twist inside to cause a lot of confusion and get people to knock together. So Vic, let's talk about this down lineman that they have and things like that. Harrison Phillips as a catalyst, they didn't need Star Lotulelei. They had Harrison Phillips, in my opinion. Yeah. But let's talk about Harrison Phillips.
Now I'm looking at the depth chart right now, and you got Jerry Hughes and Mario Addison starting, with Greg Russo, AJ Espinosa as your backups at the end, and they also drafted Carlos Basham. So the Bills weren't playing when it came to adding some pass rush and also adding some guys that are going to help against the run, because Tremaine Edmonds, again, one of those linebackers, tremendous talent, got the size, speed. He's young, probably still like 21 now. Because I swear, I think he got drafted at 19, Jeremy. If you remember.
17. He did. He was drafted at 19.
So, he's still young, but he's got that Jalen Smith vibe with me where, it looks like they can be elite. But when we talk about that read, react, finish, they're just a little slower than those elite guys, the Bobby Wagners of the league. Luke Kuechly and the cowboy white boy cowboy that was nice to Sean Lee. When you look at the film of those guys, how they read, react, and finish, compared to how some of these kids are struggling still with that, you could tell the difference of why they are elite and why these kids are still, mediocre and some, stopping the run. So they added pieces to that defensive line to make sure they helped against the run. So that matchup with Najee Harris and that front five for Pittsburgh, it's going to be interesting because Najee is going to do his job. We know that. We got to see if that Pittsburgh offensive line is going to help create the holes.
And just to what were we just talking about? Tremaine Edmonds. Just to stick to the Bill side of it, right, Vic? I'll give you a player. If you line up him and Tremaine Edmonds and they have him running in a straight line in a race, Tremaine Edmonds will blow him out the water. You probably wouldn't believe that this guy plays the same position at this guy right here. But if you get him on the football field, I'll take this guy right here. Man, I'm talking about is Danny Trevathan. Danny Trevathan is in his 30s now, but he's still playing football linebacker position at a high level. Why? He can read, he can react, he can finish. Dante Hightower was born to be a defensive end. And Bill Belichick said, sir, you are a defensive player. Wherever I want you, you will play. And he has answered the bell for years. You know what I mean? He's not the best coverage guy. He's not going to be the best defensive lineman. He's not going to be the best edge rusher. What he is good at all these things. Why? Because he can read, react, finish, understands keys, understands what offenses are trying to do to him. So the mental part, it is the most physical sport there is, but it is still 85 to 90% mental. Mm-hmm. And that's just what it is. So again, you have a bunch of athletes on the field, but you need football players to win games.
Oh yeah.
And now as we transition over to the offense, Buffalo, just like Pittsburgh, has the same problem. Offensive line,
Oh,
running game. So this is where both of these teams, and we should have fun today. We should have fun today with this. Josh, are you going to be patient? Are you going to take what the defense gives you? Are we going to go into the maturation process that got us this big contract? Because as of today, he is the first quarterback to have gotten paid from his quarterback class.
mm-hmm.
As of today, he is the first.
Josh.
The other guy plays at 4:00, and we're gonna talk about him later. He needs to be paid too, and I'm excited for them. And we're gonna talk about that game.
Talking about Lamar, right?
Extensively. No. I'm talking about tonight, today. But with that being said, fellas, I think the offense for Buffalo is really simple. I think it's be on time, 4 yards in a cloud of dust with the running game, but it's probably more like 2.5 yards in a cloud of dust because of the offensive line. And it's get the ball in the hands of your playmakers early and let them make plays.
Mm-hmm.
That's the way that you're going to have to do this against this Steelers team, because that zone blitz, it may not be Dick LeBeau's zone blitz, but it's still a good one. And that's something that we have to understand. With the way that these athletes are in the front seven for Pittsburgh, it's going to be interesting to see if Josh is going to be patient and be understanding of leverage, concepts, areas in the field, and areas of each zone that he needs to know. All of the maturation process that we're looking for now going into this year 5. That's what this is about now.
Mm-hmm. Because Vic, I'm gonna go first here before you go, because I know you're gonna take about 37 minutes to talk about Josh Allen. But I'm gonna say this, right? Germ, you left it perfectly to transition to me on this. It's that time, Josh, because I know frequency, baby. If he shows up, if Josh Allen shows up, the same Josh Allen, Buffalo's gonna struggle. Okay, we need to see a little bit of improvement on the touch. I ain't seen. I don't want perfection. A little bit of improvement on the touch. More displays of patience. More displays of making smart plays. And Buffalo is going to be what Buffalo is expected to be, because really, they have the weapons. They don't have the run game. But if Josh Allen is playing and keeps progressing the way he needs to progress to what people have as his expectation level, yeah, man, Buffalo, it doesn't matter who their running backs are, as long as they have a decent committee of guys who can keep their energy high, because that's what it is. You got a committee of running backs, and you can have that running game with the same energy, just energy, for 60 minutes. Eventually, the run game will win. It's a must. It's science. You keep knocking it, and I got a 36 in my last year of science. So what do I know about science? But what I do know is you keep knocking something, eventually it's going to break. You keep knocking that wall, no matter what that offensive line is doing, no matter who they playing against. If you get 60 minutes of a straight bulldozer, eventually it's going to break, eventually. And I just need Josh Allen to improve slightly in 3 things. Decision-making, like Germ, just bam, Emeril Lagasse in the kitchen today. The running game, the patience, a little bit of a more touch, and better decision-making, and Buffalo will be all right.
Listen, bro, I don't, again, you touched on the right things. I don't have anything left to say for them. I listen, they didn't do a good job this offseason, getting him some more blockers and getting him a better run game. Okay. You just told me Zach Moss is an active, healthy scratch, basically.
Healthy scratch.
No report. So it looks like they like Matt Breida more for this game, which is interesting. Matt Breida and Devin Singletary will be your running backs for the Bills today. So, like, they have to establish a run. I need Josh Allen to maybe get 5 rushes a game to balance it out, because I think he's the passer I think he's an elite passer. So, yes, he does need some touch, some consistency with touch, some consistency with his outside throws and decision-making. But, again, a quarterback's best friend as a good run game, and so far, doesn't look good on paper.
And Vic, just to say this as we wrap up the Buffalo and Pittsburgh game, we'll come back at the end, y'all, and do predictions. We just want to kind of bounce around and talk about some games because we're all excited.
Yeah.
So, to be honest with y'all, I think the Matt Breida thing still tells me two things. It tells me number one, that they want to try and see if they can get a screen game going. That's an area of Matt Breida's game that has been underrated for a while, is where he is with the screen game and those type of things and the change of pace running back. So, and the second thing that tells me is, it tells me that they feel like they don't really know what they want to do yet with Zach Moss. And that's a little scary to me.
It looks like they are kind of blaming him for some of their goal line issues when it comes to running the ball with the running backs last season. So, again, that's debatable. They're the ones that get paid to coach and scout the film. So if they see that he's not being effective in the goal line, that's kind of probably where some of this is coming from.
Yeah, and as we transition to the next team and the next teams in this particular situation, I want to talk about the Rams.
Ooh.
And I want to talk about the Bears.
Ooh.
First and foremost, before we even go, I want to send the biggest heartfelt shout out to my guy, RIP Leon. We love you. We miss you, bro. All that good stuff. That's why Tanya's wearing the shirt right there.
Okay.
So he was an avid supporter of Views from the 22 and anything we were doing on the scene. We just want to shout him out now, man. That was our guy. That was family. That's family right there. Man. So if anything, I will root for the Bears even more this year for my guy. Not because of anything else, but because it was for my guy.
Yo.
But with that being said, the Bears.
Dog, you gotta warn me before you do that.
Me too, for real.
Bro.
Y'all okay?
Yeah, man. It's already a highly emotional day. You can't you gotta warn a brother before you say you. I didn't know you was gonna do that. I gotta turn my camera off, turn this brightness up, brother. My eyes starting to sweat.
That's one of the ones, man. And my girl Shanrell too. She right along. Man, they was diehards, man. They was diehards, and I know they looking down and they watching us, and they're gonna watch this game, and all needs matter. That's yes.
Yeah, no,
I out to Sharrell as well, man.
Oh man,
I remember the World Series, man.
Yo,
it was the greatest exchange ever, and it was just so much fun. But you can't do nothing but root for any team that they root for sometime, because Leon used to hit me up all the time asking me about offensive linemen and all that. And we used to talk about the whole thing. So them is my people, them is our people. Like, can't say nothing bad about our people. We ride with them.
Facts.
So that's what I was gonna say too. Like, I mean, I was suspended at the time. I was suspended off of Facebook at the time that he passed, and I ain't get to say much. You know what I mean? But he had hit me up the week before too, man, which was crazy. He had hit me up talking about Justin Fields and how excited he was about that. And like, it just gives me chills, man, because then like to find out a week later like that he passed, and it's like, we've been on the film studying with him before, and then like, to ask him like, what's going on, like, how you doing? It's like, oh, I'm in the hospital. Like, damn. So like at the time that he's asking me about football, he was in the hospital going through whatever he was going through, and that gives me chills, man, because it's like the dude was trying to live it out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He was trying to live it out, like if he was going to see this season, if he was going to see Justin play for the Bears at least, a season, man. And it's like that gave me chills and stuff like that. And I had tears for that. But shout out to him and his family, man. And that dude was he was a big supporter of us, man. So, shout out to that, man. Shout out to Leon.
Hey, look, I just want y'all to know, any emotions, y'all let them out. It's okay. We good.
Bro.
We are. For this is a family program.
Sure. Amen.
So with that being said, we're gonna start with our guys' team, the Bears. Look, man, I'm gonna keep it 100% honest. Justin Fields is probably the answer at quarterback for you to day one. We talked about this already, Mo. It's probably the answer day one. You know why he's the answer day one? because at the end of the day, he's going to at least push the ball down the field. You have to do that with these young weapons that you have. You got a lot of speed out there, and you got El Capitan, Mr. Allen Robinson himself, Mr. I catch everything within my grasp. He is disgusting, and that's what it is. I want to see them run the ball more. Montgomery is not one of those players that I think that can't be utilized and be effective. He shows a lot of good things. It's just getting comfortable behind your offensive line. A lot of runners have to get comfortable behind their offensive line. We seen that last year with Jonathan Taylor. His second half of the season was tremendous once he got comfortable behind his offensive line. David Montgomery, let's continue to build off of those things. Anything you guys want to add about the offense before we go to the defense? Because the bread and butter we all know in Chicago is the defense.
Yeah, I want to touch on Justin Fields for a minute. I can't sit here. Look, it's views from the 22, baby. Views and dues. We are here to pay our dues. I can't sit here and give you a strong opinion on whether Justin Fields is going to be good or not because I didn't dissect him in the lab. You feel me? So I'm not going to compromise the lab. But what I can tell you, what I can give you a strong think about is Andy Dalton. You know why? Because I've seen enough of that. Plenty. Okay. I've seen way too much. I know who he is. I know how the product is going to come out. I know what he's going to do. I know what he's not going to do. I am sick of Andy Dalton. Get Andy Dalton out of my league. I certainly will probably be changing the red zone when Andy Dalton gets on there. I tell you that, Vic. I'll at least say that to you. I don't want to see him no more. Yeah. I've seen enough. I know what he is. At least with Justin Fields, you got a chance. At least with Justin Fields, you got excitement. What I will tell you about Justin Fields from the limited things that I've seen from him is I believe in him. I do. I think he can. I think he's got a lot to work on. We saw that in the preseason, but I think the kid at the very least has got some heart to him. Shout out to the replacements. He's got some heart to him. He's got some good energy to him. And I think at the very least, you put him in there and give this defense some excitement it deserves from their offense. Because this defense, as we're about to touch on, is special. Vic?
Yeah, I mean,
anything with Fields?
We talked about it before in Gemini. We've talked a lot about him and Trey Lance. And, at least with Justin Fields, at least you have somebody that, if you had to choose between the two, Justin is more pro ready right now. I mean, he first came from the Division I program that he come from anyway is one of those that's going to help him in his professional level. So, despite some of the things, some of the questions that we have with him, with some of his questionable decision making, is he seeing some of the coverages? He still has a lot of upside, I think, personally, over Trey Lance. So like you said, and then when you compare Andy Dalton and Jimmy, I'm gonna choose Jimmy. Most likely you guys would too. So I agree. I think Justin Fields should start. If he's not starting this week, he should start next week. And I think the Bears will see that very soon, rather than later. That Justin should start for the football team, give them an extra energy that they need. That hit that he took in the preseason. Hopefully, he can learn from that lesson and kind of read the blitz packages as well. So, but it's gonna take a lot of time with him, but they might as well start now, like you guys said.
Mm-hmm. And real quick, I'm gonna go to Tanya, and I'm gonna go to Jaquan, and I'm gonna go to Trav. The thing is this, and this is just a simple way to put it: Justin just processes things slow. He processes the game slow.
Yeah.
Now that's something he's been doing since he was at Ohio State. He processes the game slow. But with that being said, if we can make plays and we can design some things for him to get quick hitters and those type of things, it'll help him out a lot. But the thing is, it's all going to be mental with him. Does that mean he can't be a 10-game winner in the NFL? No. I'm not saying he can't play in the league. I just said that I don't know if he's going to be as successful as we want our first-round quarterbacks to be
top
ultimately.
Tier, yeah. I mean,
and that's all it is.
Right. It's just one of those situations that, to me, personally, his upside is mid-tier, around the 10 to 15 range, where you see the Jimmies and is Prescott still in that range? Guys like that, I think his upside could be a Dak Prescott, and I think Dak Prescott could be elite. So it's going to be tough. There's a lot of young quarterbacks in this league coming up. We still got the old guys to talk about, that are still running this league. So it's going to be interesting to see. But right now, when you compare him to Andy Dalton, you might as well just put the kid out there within the next couple of weeks.
Amen. Put him
So,
out
Tanya,
now. But go ahead.
Tanya, I'm gonna ask you a question. Because he's Justin Fields is a national championship runner-up. To somebody else who's in the somebody else's. She likes to say that all the time. So, what are some things that you think about Justin Fields just as a player?
Be nice today. Okay.
You
Lord.
can't.
Shut up, Trey.
Mhm.
I really think, to be honest, I think he's the better option out of Andy Dalton. I just think this is a rough year to start him. Like, I don't want to see him fail, but at the same time, you play Tampa, the 49ers, the Steelers, and the Ravens back to back.
Jeez, that's rough.
So, like,
That's rough.
that's hard. Like,
It is.
I don't want to. That's tough. That's just, there's no way around. That's tough for him to start. And he,
That's a good point.
But
Schedule, yeah.
the way I feel, though, Tanya, and this is just, to be honest with you, I got this from the documentary they did on 28-3. And they had this, the guy narrating thing came on and said, as Brady was taking the field to tie it when it was 28-20, he was taking the field for that drive where they had to score and get the 2-point conversion, they said pressure. They talk about pressure and what pressure can do. And ultimately they said it can either make dirt or diamonds.
So far for him, it's made dirt.
I think for Justin, listen, diamonds is a process now. Okay, let's be nice here. You got the shirt on. Let's.
You're right. Okay.
You know what I mean? Come on now. Just for week one, it's a tribute to our friend. You got to at least.
You're right. You're right.
All I'm saying is, I think Justin is one of those dudes, and I don't know the dude from nowhere, but he just has that feel to him. That way, put him under the pressure and let him see what he can do. Throw him into the wolves, see what he can do. Put him in the corner, see what he can do. Whatever metaphor you want to use, it just feels like he has that energy to him. And honestly, as a coach, you got to know your personnel. As a leader, you got to understand who you have in place where and what they can do. And some guys you just got to throw them out there and let them learn from the hard experience. And he gives me that vibes. That's all I'm saying.
I mean, they could throw him out there. I would suggest if they're going to do that, though, they need to throw him out there like today.
I agree.
Because
I agree.
Otherwise, when he gets, because I think that's like week 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, like those. So I think right now, if you're going to throw him out there, would be the best time to do it.
What I don't want him to do, though, Tanya, is for Matt Stafford and this Rams offense to come out zipping and they down 14-0 and then they panic and put in Justin Fields. That's what I don't want to happen.
Probably what's going to happen.
Unfortunately, but it better not, or I'm a flip.
So this is you look at the schedule for the Bears. It is a tough schedule, man.
100%.
Very tough.
It's
you know what else is tough, Vic? That defense.
Yeah.
And that defense needs some support, man. That defense needs some energy. They need some motivation. They need to know that the person who's going to take the field when they come off the field is going to give them the same effort that they give in.
Right.
And they're not going to get that out of Dalton. No offense to him, not even his effort, just the energy. Defenses thrive off energy, man. Yeah. Energy. If they feel like they're going out there with no hope, eventually they're going to break. Oh, what's wrong with this defense? The offense. That's what's wrong with his defense.
Trav?
Sorry about that. I'm fixing to read off some names, and I want y'all to all at once tell me what's one thing they got in common. You got Jim McMahon, Mike Tomczak, oh Lord, Jim Harbaugh, Steve Walsh, Eric Kramer, Cade McNown, Cordell Stewart, Rex Grossman, Kyle Orton, Jay Cutler, and Mitchell Trubisky.
Hey, Jay Cutler's the best name out of all those names, bro.
Out of all of
But
Give me Kyle Orton for the former Purdue Boilermaker.
Oh, dude.
me personally, all those names, all them quarterbacks suck for the Chicago Bears.
That's really the truth.
Why not go ahead and start this young fella right
Exactly.
now? It's gonna bring y'all the fans at this point.
Exactly.
I mean, you done already messed up big. You messed up big in 2017. That's when it really started.
Yeah. But remember, we're highly critical of Mitch. The Justin Fields thing, we were like, you know what? All right. Whatever.
Might as well.
That's what you want. Take
Might
it.
as well.
Yeah.
Might as well. If you've been starting out this rough since 1983, it's 2021. What 23 years later? You've been doing this, Chicago. You got a history of doing this. Go ahead and start a young fella, man. Get some energy going, man. The crowd gonna be behind you no matter what. I mean, you finally got somebody of some quality. Of course, he's gonna be young and he processing the game slow. That's been him since he was at Georgia. Not Ohio State. It's Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead and let the young fella go, man. Let him go.
Amen. Yep. Let him roll.
I'm not gonna say much about the defense because we already know what time it is. I mean, it is what it is. They're gonna rush the passer. They're gonna be physical. They're gonna hit. They're gonna do all of the things that they need to do. They got playmakers. I think the one area where this team is going to really make me upset is the corners. I know you didn't want to pay Kyle Fuller $20 million, but Lord have mercy, what do y'all have? I mean, I see a bunch of butter. I see a bunch of toast out there playing cornerback for these folks. And I'm talking grilled cheese. It is what it is. It's getting ready to get real. You know that smell of burnt rubber? Hey, y'all know the Gap band, when they put burnt rubber and all that. Listen, it's bad.
Yeah. Hey, man. Listen, the worst thing they did was let Kyle Fuller walk out that building. Like, there was no reason to let Kyle Fuller walk out that building whatsoever. Eventually, what's his name over there? Les Snead from the Rams is going to find him and trade 3 first-round picks for him. So we'll just wait for that. But for the Bears, it's, again, very similar to Pittsburgh here, but Pittsburgh at least has a little more pieces in that secondary, right? Like, I don't know what I'm going to get out of this Chicago Bears secondary. Let's not even talk about Artie Burns, but I don't even know who Kendall Vildor is. That don't even sound like a football name. I don't even know who that is.
Well, the player that their secondary is going to be built around is going to be Eddie Jackson, the outstanding safety. But Tashawn Gibson is not. But Tashawn Gibson is not enough as a complimentary player.
Mm-mm.
And then I just don't think the corners are good enough to get them where they need to be.
Let me ask this question, Jerm.
Yes.
Your thoughts on maybe Vic is the one who talked about him. I can't remember, but what's his name? DeAndre Houston Carson. Like, is he gonna really? Because Deshaun Gibson, I think, is out for this game. So is he gonna be starting? Is he gonna be starting long term? Is he gonna be the guy who can be that lid? Like, keep going on the secondary, man. But I just got questions.
It's a lot of questions because, see, I just don't. I don't know what the Bears are aiming for.
Right.
Because offensively, they draft and they keep bringing in people to take off lids, but then they never draft people to keep the lid on their defense. It's like backwards. But this is what happens when you're under bad football management. Let's just leave that alone.
Yeah.
I got other things that I want to do today with my time. Anyway, the Rams. I'm not as high on the Rams as everybody else, but they are in the running to be one of those teams that is one of the best in the NFL. Can Matt Stafford and I said this on the pre-show with me and Big Shot, can Matt Stafford be patient? Can Matt Stafford allow things to develop in front of him and be the guy that can be methodical? Because he's always had those big Optimus Prime guys to throw the ball deep to. We had Calvin Johnson, who is Megatron, and then he had Starscream, which is Kenny Galladay. I call him him pretty much Calvin Johnson in that situation.
Yeah.
But without the fizzle of a pop. You know, he's like the spring water, not the spring water, the flavor water. And Calvin Johnson was just straight out Pepsi.
Amen.
You know.
Good, Jim. Good.
I'm just saying, like, you know, Galladay is good, but he
Yeah.
wasn't Megatron. You know, it was, you know, but let's look at that. Remember that Atlanta game last year and that throw Matt Stafford made? And Kenny Galladay went up and snatched it from everybody.
Snatched it.
He doesn't have that player on this roster.
No, he does not.
And that's the most interesting part of this whole experience for me. Because you bring in Deshaun Jackson to stretch the field vertically, but he's not the prototypical guy for Stafford to stretch the field.
Yeah.
So that's my only question. Otherwise, they're going to run the ball. They're going to do that damn good. Oh, it's true. It's damn true. They're going to do that well.
Mm-hmm.
They got Cooper Kupp, who I told y'all before is the most important receiver in that room because of what he does for them in the running game as well.
Mm-hmm.
But after that, it's like I give Cube his props, and that's where it stops. So,
all right. Listen, man, if y'all looking for me and Ronnie, you can find us on the I-10 driving the Rams bandwagon, okay? Because we on this bandwagon. We on the Matt Stafford hype train. That's my MVP candidate. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but I'm saying to you that's what I feel should happen with Matt Stafford here. I think he is probably the most underrated quarterback in the NFL. And you said the perfect thing, Germ, if he can trust it. All he's got to do is trust, and if he trusts and understand what this McVay offense is, he's going to thrive. He's going to thrive when he sees the middle of the field and the player's right there wide open, and he can just throw it to him 20 yards downfield. And he's going to be able to rip it like Jared Goff just can't rip it for 60 minutes, for 17 weeks. You know what I mean? It's just effortless for Matt Stafford to just put that ball with some thunder on it. So I am really, really excited to watch Matt Stafford and Sean McVay and what this Rams offense can do. They got Robert Woods, Cooper Kupp, and Van Jefferson as their three starters. Deshaun Jackson is going to come in there, a couple plays a quarter, and just stretch the field, not for target purposes, for scheme purposes, for decoy purposes. So I think there is, and then Tyler Higbee. Is this going to be the year he continues to grow and progress and be that tight end that they need? Although this offense doesn't rely on a tight end like that, we have seen in the past when they include their tight ends, it's a whole different animal. So I am truly excited.
Kansas City game.
Yup.
Kansas City game. When those tight ends was moving, that offense looked totally different.
Amen, brother. I can't wait to see it. I'm excited to watch this Rams offense.
All right. So with that being said, do we need to talk about the defense, or do we already know that they got two of the three best players in football?
Listen.
That's second.
We already know that.
Right.
I mean, because Aaron Donald and Jalen Ramsey. I mean, look, it just is what it is. They are one of the best teams in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
I look forward to this game because I think the Rams should be able to punch the Bears in the mouth enough to make this a very tight game and close game. And this is the most talent that Stafford has ever had on his team against the Bears.
Mm-hmm.
So if Stafford can't beat the Bears with this team.
Yeah, sure.
Dude,
Bye, bye, Miss American Pie. Oh,
Aaron Donald, man, he just the number one defensive player in the league just because he trained with knives. So that's just it. Dude, cold.
Man, Aaron Donald, I got nothing to say about that dude. That dude is the
Cold.
perfect player.
Cold.
Yeah.
And now to the main event of the day.
Oh. Mm-hmm.
We're not going to talk about New England and the Dolphins today.
Oh no.
Because you know the reason why we're going to talk about them today? Because the look on Tanya's face is already enough for me today. Two Alabama quarterbacks. That's enough. The Alabama Bowl, we will not talk and discuss today.
No.
I'm going to Kansas City.
Yes, sir.
Kansas City here. Ooh, bop, bop. I'm going to Kansas City. Kansas City, here I come. Oh, okay. Now, yeah, listen. That right there, shouts out to my guy Jason Weaver when he was a kid, when he did that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that right there, you got to do it. What's attitude? Let's do it. Kansas City Chiefs, Cleveland Browns. Mo, you already know how this goes.
Doug.
Hey, man, Vic got the Illmatic hat on. So this going walked in, ill alert, Mr. Patty Waddy Mahomes is in the building, coming back. 3 straight AFC championships game. One of the best teams in the NFL, obviously. It's not really a question. One of the best head coaches we probably ever seen. He'll probably retire as a top 10 head coach all time. And that's Mr. Big Kool-Aid himself. Mr. Oh, yeah, Andy Reid. So let's do this. Let's talk about this. Let's break it down. Kansas City went and they said, we're going to invest in some beef. So they came in and they brought in Orlando Brown from the Ravens, and then they brought in Joe Thuney from the Patriots, and then they brought in some beef from the draft. They got some young guys that are going to be listed. That's going to be a huge offensive line. Orlando Brown already is 6'7" or 6'8" and 340 pounds. Mm-hmm. They bring in Humphreys from Oklahoma, who is another 6'4" plus player. Vic, is he 6'6", right?
6'6".
Another
6'6" center.
6'6" center at 320 pounds. So they're going to be looking to lay on folks and run the football, I hope. Mm-hmm. Andy, hey, Big Kool-Aid, it's time that you mix up your flavor. I don't want to see the red Kool-Aid no more. I need you to see you put some lemon in there now, some blue raspberry. I need to see grape soda, something different, because now we need to turn around, reverse pivot, and we need to hand that ball off like that. Yeah, Vic, I did. You see that the double transparency right there on the handoff? Yeah, I need to see that, because that's what's going to be the key to them getting back to February, because they don't have the firepower defensively to be able to compete with a team like this Cleveland Browns team. Nicholas, Ebenezer, Chubb, the first, second, and third to go along with Kareem Hunt. I don't know if Odell's playing today, but this Donovan Peoples-Jones kid, watch him. He's going to be intriguing.
Yep.
And it's going to be interesting to see, because now he has developed and shown that he can win in tight windows, and the tight window throws that Baker likes to make in these situations, he's showing that he can win in those situations. So that puts Odell on the outside and Jarvis on the outside. So no more pressing these small guys, because you got this big boy right here who will now be the X. That's going to be key. Kansas City, I know you got firepower, but this team can run, can pass, and they have one of the 3 best offensive lines in football. And they're young, hungry, and they're looking for work. The Browns are up for grabs for the playoffs, and they want the smoke.
They're looking for revenge too.
Yes, they are.
They're looking for revenge too. That's the last game they played this season. So last season. So
Vic, let's start with the Browns. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, listen, I'm looking forward for Baker to take another step forward. You know, again, I think you guys know, I think he's an elite quarterback, or has the potential to be an elite quarterback. You know, the offensive line is intact. They did a tremendous job adding pieces like that. You know, the left tackle was tremendous, and then he's talking about that he wasn't good last year. well, according to all the sources, you were pretty damn good. So whatever you got planned this year, it should be fun to watch. Establish that run, and I think they will do that. When it comes to Kansas City and Andy Reid and that West Coast philosophy, again, Andy Reid, great coach. He was able to mix the West Coast with a little bit of a college vertical spread. But they believe the air raid. Yeah, they believe in pass to score and run to win. That's the West Coast philosophy.
Mm-hmm.
So that means they're gonna pass the ball. If they're winning, they will then run the ball. Well, if the Browns could kind of defend the pass, then they could be able to kind of keep pace with this football team, keep pace with Kansas City, and probably win this football game. Because with that offensive line, like Jerm talked about, they should establish the run too, Kansas City, because this defense on paper for Cleveland should provide a good pass rush and some good coverage. So this is going to be a fun game, man. This is going to be a very fun game to watch.
Mo, as I transition it to you, I'm gonna say it right now. Baker Mayfield this season is fighting for his life.
Yep.
In my R. Kelly voice, in the most R. Kelly voice possible. He is fighting for his life. Can y'all see me? Is this thing on? It's in one of these situations that we gotta have this conversation. Stefanski and Baker are both on the chopping block in some way, shape, or form. If you don't make it to the AFC semifinal range conference game, it doesn't matter if it's the AFC championship game. You got to make the playoffs, and you got to be convincing when you do so.
Mm-hmm.
This is one of the 2 or 3 best rosters in football on paper.
Mm-hmm.
Like there is Tarver said it best before he knocked him out. No excuses tonight, Roy. No excuses. Chef Baker. What are you expecting from Mr. Mayfield, Curtis Mayfield's illegitimate grandchild?
Well, listen, Baker Mayfield doesn't need to hog tie anybody this year, but he's going to have to rely on those hogs up front to get him those W's. And I'm going to tell you this. If I'm Cleveland, my base personnel formation is going to be 12 or 22 or something.
13
or even 13. It's got to be, you got to have those tight ends on the field, man, because the bigger Cleveland can be, the better Cleveland can be. This team cannot be a finesse football team. Jarvis Landry, Odell Beckham, Donovan People-Jones, they got to be grinders. They got to be blockers. They got to do the dirty work and get rewarded later, because who's going to have to be the breadwinners for this offense is Nick Chubb and those tight ends. That is where it starts, and that's where it needs to end, because if you give Baker that format to work with, it's going to open up some things for him. He's phenomenal in play action. It's going to open up the play action game, the bootleg game, allowing him to get out and see the whole field without all those big people in front of him. That's where it needs to be for Cleveland. And if that's where they go with it, oh yeah, we're gonna see them in January, no doubt about it. We should see them in the last week of January, and if they stick to it, they should be in February.
Hey, I'm gonna tell you this now. You see that shirt you wearing? Right there? Let me see. Hold on, wait. I got I can't prepare with wardrobe changes and stuff. That's just what we do here.
At the red light.
Nicholas Ebenezer Chubb.
See that play?
Trap.
See that play?
Trap.
You run that play, you get to January.
Yes,
Cleveland,
sir.
That's the play. Hey, it needs to be ran 10 times a week. It's just that simple, man. That's just what it is when it comes down to it. You don't have the best quarterback in the league, but you got a damn good one. But you may have the best running back and the best running game in football. It's time to get. I know you've been going through some things. Cleveland, I know you come on, let's do this. It's time to get that big shine. You see how I did that big shine? Levels. So with that being said, we're going to go through with the picks.
Let's do it.
Philadelphia going to the dirty ATL. Mo, do your work.
Oh, give me Atlanta. I think Atlanta's going to come out with good energy this year. I think eventually they're going to fall off. but I could see Atlanta starting off the season pretty hot. Matt Ryan, the arm is still going to be strong. A bit of a different looking offense. We'll see what that defense is. I'm not really looking forward to seeing much from this game, honestly. But I'm just going to take Atlanta.
Okay. Now, Vic.
Yeah, I'll go Atlanta too. I think they're just gonna be able to pass all over this Philly defense. Even despite their front seven, I think that the secondary won't be able to keep up with the Calvin Ridleys, Kyle Pitts, and both tight ends. I think they're gonna use the 12 personnel a lot this year. So I'll take Atlanta to win this game for sure.
Trav.
I got Atlanta. I hate to say it, but especially with them being in the NFC South, I don't too much care about it. Everything gonna be above the 20-yard line and out for them to score, but Atlanta is gonna win.
Jaquan.
I was on the Eagles side at first, but when Vic reminded me that their secondary is not up to par like that, even though they don't have Julio Jones anymore, Matt Ryan can still get the ball out. And yeah, that's gonna be a problem for that secondary. So I'm gonna go with.
Still have Ridley.
Yeah, I said they had Ridley.
They still got Ridley. Go ahead, Go ahead, Lil T. Raj. Go ahead.
I'm gonna go with my cousin and the Eagles today.
Okay.
Okay,
girl. Okay.
Listen,
I ain't mad
man.
at you.
Welcome to Atlanta, where the players play, and we ride on the pace like every day. Like, that's where I'm going with this. Look, Kyle Pitts should be the red zone threat for Matt Ryan to get him where he needs to be. Last year, only 2 quarterbacks completed more than 400 passes. One of them, Matthew Ryan. ATL. Let's go. With that being said, Buffalo, Pittsburgh. Mo,
Yeah. Well, listen, over under is 48. And Buffalo is actually 6.5 point favorites. So definitely everybody's feeling Buffalo. I just got a funky feeling Pittsburgh's going to have an upset. So give me Pittsburgh 27-26.
Yeah, I guess Mo and I are thinking along the same line so far here. I'm gonna go with Pitt too. Buffalo strong football team. I do think that Roethlisberger is regressing a little bit, but I think that the balance that they'll be able to provide with Najee, we cannot forget about those 3 receivers that they got, and James Washington, Germ's running back receiver. But they do have they do. It's still a good enough football team that they should be able to win this game against Buffalo.
Trav.
I guess I got to be that one now.
It takes you. It takes you. But go ahead though.
Only you. Go to hell, Trav. Go ahead.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I'm going Buffalo, man.
Of course Buffalo. You are.
I'm going Buffalo because
okay, next.
I think go, Knicks. Go. I got you. I got you. I got you.
Go ahead, Jaquan.
I mean, it's obvious right here. So I'm not gonna go with Buffalo. So go ahead, Tanya.
I'm going Pittsburgh 27-23.
Okay.
Next game, Minnesota, Cincinnati. We got both of our LSU boys, the receivers, back on the same field again with the quarterback that won the national championship. One of the best college offenses we've ever seen. Period. It is what it is. Joey B is back on the field. We still trying this left tackle experience with Jonah Williams, which is
yeah. Over under is 47 on this game, Germ. 2.5 points only, favoring Minnesota. I'm going to go Minnesota to win this game. I think Minnesota starts the season off pretty hot as well. I think once again they'll be the biggest tease in football and lose later on in the season. But give me Minnesota to win this football game, 28-20.
Vic?
Yeah, I have to go with Minnesota too. As much as I want to pick the Bengals, Minnesota just on paper has a stronger football team right now. The pass rush is obviously better, and we still don't know what Cincinnati is going to bring on the offensive line. If they show that they can contain these guys and give Burrow some time, then we might have a good season for Cincinnati. But I'm gonna go with Vikings. That run game against that Cincinnati front seven should give the Vikings the edge.
Trev?
Hey, Pat P, Dalvin, Give me Minnesota, man. Let's go.
Jaquan?
I'm going with the Vikings, of course.
Tanya?
Minnesota.
Okay. Next game on the docket. We got Frisco traveling to Detroit to be on what's up radio. But real quick, I'm going to Vikings just so y'all know. Wasn't no reason for me to even really keep suspense. But they're going to be on what's up radio. So at the end of the day, it's really, really simple. Jared Goff gets to go and play with no expectation. And then we get Mr. Garoppolo, who gets to play with all the expectation. So when the two worlds collide, I think we see Mr. Milshefter go ahead and give us the rest.
That's pretty interesting there, Jerm. I don't know. We'll see. Over under is 46. Detroit, bro. Detroit is getting 9 points to come out. Listen, take the under, take San Francisco. Give me San Francisco 19-3.
Vic?
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna go San Francisco too. I think they'll just have too much on defense, too much on offense for Detroit to keep up with. Keep it simple.
Trav?
Round and pound with the 49ers, man. They're gonna pound that thing on those folks all day long.
Which, real quick, by the way, Jerm, Trey Sermon is inactive for this game. No idea why, but
they got must start. Duh.
Man, I'm thinking that we're gonna have a Sermon and must start. You know what I mean? 1-2 punch here, but
yeah. We don't need that right now. We just need to must start. We must start him.
Yeah.
Jaquan?
I'm going with the 49ers.
Tanya?
Definitely the 49ers. By a lot.
Hey, man. Give me Frisco because at the end of the day, I just don't think What's Up Radio is even should still be on the air. Like, Martin, I'm tired of hearing you scream all the time at people. Arizona versus Tennessee. Listen, look, we got Arizona and that dry heat going all the way down there to Tennessee, man. So let's go ahead and let's get this thing popping here, shorty. Snort a line.
No,
oh my God,
no.
Well, you wanna be a junkie like me. With that being said, look, Kyler Murray, as we call him, but Kyler Murray, man, I think he's primed for a great season, almost MVP-like. This should be a great year in the best division in football. Every game is important. Tennessee, we already know Tennessee can afford to lose this game because the only team that they got to worry about is Indianapolis. The rest of the teams in their division,
Yeah.
Go ahead, Mr. Chef.
Over under is 53.5. The favorites in this game is Tennessee. I think Tennessee should win this game. I think Derrick Henry, I don't think Arizona has anything to really be strong against a run defense. I don't think so, at least, but we'll see. Give me Tennessee to win this game 27-24.
Vic?
Tennessee as well.
Copycat.
Trav?
Tennessee should win it, but I won't be surprised if Arizona pull it off. But I'm riding with Tennessee.
Juan?
I'm going with the Cardinals to win the game. I think Kyler Murray and them going to beat Tennessee. Tennessee doesn't have a good secondary to keep up with D-Hop, A.J. Green, Kyler Murray, Kenyon Drake. I mean, they got Budda Baker on the other side. They got J.J. Watt, Chandler Jones. Yeah, I'm going with the Cardinals.
T-Raj.
See, this was tough for me too because I got Kenyon Drake and I got Derrick Henry. I'm going to go with Tennessee.
All right. Give me Arizona. This is the first time I'll pick against the views, guys. Arizona, 2 reasons why. Kyler Murray, and I think ultimately, the right side of the Tennessee line gets exposed today badly by that technician and that mad guy named Chandler Jones. Next game, Seattle, Indianapolis, excuse me.
Mm-hmm. Real simple, man. I'm going with Seattle. I think I don't know how Carson Wentz is going to be. I think they're going to take a while for Indy to really get going. It's going to be to like October for them to get going. I think Seattle is going to come out a little better energy. Give me Seattle 30-23.
Vic?
Yeah, I'm going to go Seattle too. I think that they'll be able to outplay Indy, even though Indy got a strong run game. We just don't know how Carson Wentz is going to come out. So I'll go Seattle.
Trav,
Seattle. I'm with Seattle now.
Jaquan,
Seahawks.
T-Raj,
Seattle.
Chargers, Washington football team.
This is a game I'm gonna be keeping an eye on, Germ. This game is gonna be quite interesting.
Get out of town.
Over under is 45. I'm just gonna go with the Chargers to win this game. But I think Washington is gonna be very, very, very interesting. Matter of fact, I'm going on Washington. Give me Washington. Give me Washington 24-21.
Okay, he won. All right, well, we're gonna wash your sins away later. Go ahead, Vic.
Yeah, no, this should be a fun game to watch on film when the film comes out on Tuesday. But I'm looking forward to Justin Herbert just kind of continuing his growth. So I'm gonna go with the Chargers because they're healthy right now. You know, who knows what that's gonna look like in 4 weeks from now? Is everybody still gonna be available? But Austin Eckler is also available for this game, so I'll take the Chargers.
Hey, Big Shot, I'm putting up the thread right now. Big Shot, I got it. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Germ.
Trav,
I'm going with my boy, number 33 in San Diego, man. I'm going with my guys, man. I'm gonna go with San Diego, man. I'm intrigued of what they're gonna do this year, and I think they're gonna be Washington today.
Jaquan.
I'm going with the Washington football team.
Okay, Tanya.
Y'all know I like Sherbert. I'm going Chargers.
For sure.
You like that? You like the alternative ice cream sherbet? Okay.
We
give me,
finally
of
agree.
course, the Chargers. Of course, I'm taking the Chargers. I believe that they're the second best team, arguably in the AFC, and that just is what it is. Jets, Carolina. I'm gonna let y'all know. I'm gonna set the tone right now. Jets, Jets. Let's go.
But Sam Darnold's on the Panthers. Give me the Panthers. 1917 Panthers.
Yeah, okay, whatever. So, this is a game where, we got the Sam Darnold former Jets quarterback versus the new draft pick there for New York. He's going to show who is the better talent. He is going to show who will be better for that team long term. So I'm going with the Jets in that game for sure. 1-0 Jets.
I want the
Jacksonville and Houston is the next game on the
myself.
docket, y'all. Just so y'all know, and I think we all can pick Jacksonville and just skip that
Moving
game.
right along, yes.
But Trav, who you picking? You picking Carolina or the Jets?
I picked the Jets.
Okay.
I just want to see the young guy win, man. I want to see the young Zach Wilson guy win.
Jaquan?
I think Sam Darnold going to beat his former team. He out for some revenge, so I'm going with the Panthers.
T-Raj?
I'm going with the Jets.
All right, we all pick Jacksonville the next time because we don't waste our time with Houston will not be getting any airtime here.
No.
Cleveland and KC.
Oh, I'm going Cleveland. I'm going Cleveland. Give me Cleveland 35-33.
Oh.
What you got, Vic? You taking Cleveland too?
I'll go with Cleveland too. It's just looks good.
I'm going Kansas City, man.
All right. Jaquan?
I'm going with the Chiefs.
T-Raj?
Kansas City.
Kansas City here,
right? Miami and New England. I'll just go ahead and go first. Give me Bill Belichick.
Yeah, give me the better Alabama quarterback. Give me the Patriots, baby.
First of all, Mo, don't start your shit on this show.
You notice I got further from the screen before I said that?
Nah, yeah, the guys didn't want to talk about this game, but this is the fun game for me. I can't wait to see what Mac Jones comes out with. And of course, Tua, very low expectations for him. Sorry, Tanya. So I'm taking New England.
Mr. Trav?
I don't even care who wins this game, but if you got to pick a winner, I'm gonna pick New England.
Okay, Jaquan?
I'm rolling with the Dolphins.
Wow, that's interesting. Go ahead, Tanya.
I don't want to do this.
No. No. How did you get here? Nobody's supposed to be here.
That's my favorite song, by the way. But
Yo,
I
oh man, that's a great song.
don't want to do that.
My heart says no.
Give me the Patriots.
Because you know deep down inside too ain't.
No,
what that
that's
is
not
called?
it. That's not
Green
it.
Bay and New Orleans. Hey man, give me 8 to W. Let's go.
Hell yeah. Give me
8 to
Jameis.
W.
Give me Jameis and them Saints too, man. Come on now.
Oh yeah, give me the Packers, baby.
I got it. I'm going again. God, y'all got me picking teams that I really don't want, but I gotta go New Orleans.
Don't worry, Trav. That we ain't worried about them.
I'm going with the Packers.
Yeah, I'm going with Green Bay, man.
Green
All right.
Bay.
All right, last 2 games. Denver versus the Giants.
Denver. Give me Teddy Bridgewater.
Ooh, this is gonna be fun. Vic, who you got?
I'll take the Giants in this one.
Okay.
I'm going Denver.
Go, yo. Football's back. I'm sorry. They're warming up.
Jaquan,
I'm going Giants.
T-Raj.
Denver.
Ooh, this is hard.
It is.
Give me Denver only because I like Denver's quarterback better.
Absolutely.
Quarterbacks matter, bro.
Absolutely.
Hey, shouts out to Worldwide Les. Black quarterbacks matter. Chicago versus the Rams.
Not. Let me stop. Go ahead.
Who you got?
Come
Who you
water,
got,
my
Vic?
friend.
I'll take the Rams.
Give me the man with knives. Give me Aaron Donald and the Rams, baby.
Oh man.
I'm going Rams, but I would love for the Bears to win.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going
Amen.
Rams.
That's right.
Tanya.
I'm gonna go Rams.
Yeah, no offense.
Everybody, Rams with a clean sweep. I can't pick another team against this team. So look, y'all, make sure you guys tune in. Next week we'll have an even better show for you guys, even better show. We just got so much stuff to talk about in the great world of football. We'll be coming back with film sessions during the week. This year, we are going to be your one-stop shop for everything football related. News, everything, views from the 22, live on the scene. Make sure you guys like, share, subscribe. Make sure you're on everything. With that being said, we want to thank all of our guests, thank of all of our viewers. Football is back.
Yes, sir.
Any
Yes,
last
sir.
words? Any last words there, Mo?
Thank you for the support. Thank you for the support.
Let's just go, baby.
Do it.
Let's go. Enjoy these games. My annual prayer post will go up at some point. I apologize. It hasn't been posted before kickoff, but it still will go up. Look forward to that. But as always, we just praying for good health and good ball, baby. That's all we need.
22. Enjoy the games.
Kickoff. Here we go.
Good job, everybody.